In 1521, Spain and Portugal were at war, and Portugal at that time were colonising Timor and the Spice Islands. What you will find is on the Portuguese maps a clear indication of what is perceived to be the east coast of Australia. The other part of this very interesting story is if we take a quantum leap from 1521 to 1840, the governor of this area at the time, Charles Joseph Latrobe, was a very scientific person. He was an amateur astronomer, he was a scientist, he had an interest in geography, and he used to come to this very location and look at the strata of lime in the lime pits and look for skeletal remains of fish and mammals and so on. On this particular day, the lime burner, Mr. Bossier, said, Your Honour, we just found some keys down where you are, down there in the pit, 15 feet below surface area. And Mr. Bossier had already given 3 of the keys, of the 5 keys, to his children, who'd subsequently lost them. And so Latrobe only ever saw 2. And he commented about them and said that they clearly were old keys, the wards and so on were different to the keys at that time, and the speculation, of course, was where could they have come from? And was it possible that they were Portuguese? Was it possible that the Portuguese who came down the east coast of Australia in 1521 wandered in this area, dropped the keys, and the subsequent tidal movement of Corio Bay might have changed, which would have meant that they would have probably been something like 15 or 21 feet below. So they're the famous Geelong keys, and unfortunately they have never been found. Charles Joseph Latrobe was given 2, sent them to a friend of his in Tasmania, and they just got lost. It always has been a hearsay story in Geelong, and it wasn't really until the Rotary Club of Geelong decided to put a plaque on our left over there, and Jan Mitchell designed this bollard to give some credence to the story, some focus to the story. And since that point, there have certainly been people who have taken more of an interest in it, and some who, like myself, have done a little bit of the research to see whether there's any credence in it, whether it could possibly have been true or not. It becomes an obsession, in fact, and I was interested in then to write a fictional novel about these Portuguese who may or may not have wandered around here in 1521.